Hello, everybody. Thanks for coming to the meetup tonight. I have a presentation on solo mining miners. So just to start, does everybody know about mining? Have the generalization of like what Bitcoin mining is? Don't need to explain that. Okay, so Bitcoin mining is basically miners who invest money for specific units to mine Bitcoin, and the sole purpose for that unit is to mine Bitcoin. If you wanted to use that computer for anything else, you couldn't. It's just a paperweight if you don't want to mine Bitcoin with it. So there's a massive amount of money that's just getting pumped into that ecosystem purely to help Bitcoin thrive. It's for the security of the network and to, again, just help further decentralize Bitcoin and prevent any attacks from any other individual or anything like that. So that's the basics of mining. But I did want to get into solo mining today, and I wanted to start with how difficult is it to solve a block. So just to put it in perspective, I asked ChatGPT what it would take to solve a block denominated in coin flips. So basically, it did all the math for me, so I didn't have to do all that hard work, and they brought it to 46 coin flips. If you get tails 46 times in a row, you basically solve a Bitcoin block. So one machine, basically something like that over there, the What's Miner that Sean brought, one of those machines out of the many, many, many millions solves one of those blocks roughly, or does 46 coin flips and lands on tails around once every 10 minutes. So that's the current way I like to kind of describe difficulty with Bitcoin. So for solo mining, basically anybody can be a solo miner, large or small. Solo mining involves independently mining without joining a pool. So you're mining solely to one of your addresses. An example that I used here is using one of the S9. So a lot of people, this isn't a profitable unit. You wouldn't want to put this on a pool as it's consuming 1,200 watts. So I ran through a little calculator here. If you're spending 12 cents per kilowatt for your energy, and you're running this at home 24 hours a day, your yearly cost is about $1,260 Canadian. And if you throw this into a site called Solo Chance, where you can see how lucky you need to be to win a block, or what the estimated time is to win a block, with 10 terahash, you're looking at about 1,265 years. So if you were just a solo mine with this, you could get lucky and hit it, in the next month, but very unlikely according to your chances. But pretty much every 10 minutes, you have a 1 in 66 million chance to hit a block with a S9, yes.
If you got two of those machines, does that time get cut in half?
Yep, so your terahash, you would basically double it, which means your time estimate to do that would get cut in half. But you would be doubling your energy cost. So for the opportunity to solo mine with old equipment like an S9, you're looking at spending quite a large amount per year, in my opinion, for an extremely low chance to hit a block. So this is what a lot of people are doing. They actually turn on their S9s during the winter, especially in Canada, just because I'm going to heat my house anyway, may as well earn a couple extra sats.
That's what I do.
Exactly.
I run that for heat.
So what is a BitAxe? A BitAxe is a compact and efficient Bitcoin mining device. That little thing up there, designed solely for solo mining. It provides an accessible entry point for individual hobby miners. The hardware and software is all open source on their GitHub page, which anybody can contribute to. So they even give you like schematics, they give you like where you can purchase the circuit boards and all the components, so you can create your own BitAxe for whatever the going rate is for those parts. They're not looking to just like purely make a profit. They want to make this all open source and help any individual that wants to mine Bitcoin have easy accessibility into doing so. So opposed to purchasing one of those M30s, which is about 3,000 watts and consumes, it's a large amount of energy, you can get something like this, which doesn't output much heat at all. It's very efficient, so you're looking at 15 watts to operate one of these BitAxes versus 3,600 watts. And if you put it on a solo mining pool, you have the opportunity to possibly win a block. So basically, this is the circuit board that they manufactured. They give you all the files. So You can even, I downloaded the files, and then you can even go in here and delete the BitAxe logo over there and put whatever you want. It's really cool. It's all open source. And basically, it just uses one of those chips off of like a large unit like the WhatsMiner. These guys use the Antminer chips. So something off like an S19J Pro, you just harvest it from a miner, or you could purchase it from Bitmain directly and toss it onto one of these circuit boards. Or you could just buy the unit fully built for about $225.
Well,
And this is the part here. So yeah, and it uses individual chips from any of the latest miners. The S21 Pro is just coming out. They just started releasing some, and these guys already have a circuit board created to support that type of chip. So advantages of solo mining with the BitAxe. On their page, they put all of the series that they currently have, plus the new one that they just came out with, which I pre-ordered.
how recent is that new one?
That one, I believe they let you start, they would have let you get the pre-order about 2 or 3 weeks ago. So it's very recent. And I still haven't gotten mine yet, they still haven't shipped it. But for the BitAxe Gamma, which uses the S21 Pro chip, you get about 1 to 1.2 terahash per second on that singular chip. Your cost to get into something like this is about $225 Canadian for the latest one, plus shipping. But it's from also a Canadian distributor, so you don't have to pay extra duties or anything like that. It's great. Being all open source, documentation helps non-technical individuals with setup. It's very much just plug and play. Suitable for home use. You're not going to hear the device. It's not going to be roaring loud. It's not going to be off-putting much heat. So this is something you can put in any room of your house and just forget. It uses literally about 15 watts to power this thing. So, my biggest part with the BitAxe is using something like this to basically replace or to play the lottery. So, solo mining with the BitAxe can be seen as like holding a constant lottery ticket where the Bitcoin blocks, whenever they're found, you have a chance to be one of those people that find that block and the chance to receive the entire block reward for 3.125 Bitcoin plus the fees. You have a higher chance to sell the block on days that large Bitcoin miners are required to curtail. Being in the Bitcoin industry, I know that whenever it's in hot days in summer in Texas, like 30% of the entire Bitcoin network goes down. And if you're a solo miner during that time, your chances go up 30%. So I threw that again into our power consumption calculator here. If you're running 15 watts, 24 hours a day for 12 cents a kilowatt Canadian, you're looking at about $16 a year in your cost for a lottery ticket, basically every 10 minutes. Your chances, though, every 10 minutes are about 1 in 536 million. So it's very low, about 10,200 years. On average, one of these units should solve a block. So I kind of want to compare it to the Lotto 649. I'm sure everybody here knows about the Lotto 649. I ran and grabbed some numbers yesterday. Basically, they have a 1 in 14 million chance twice a week. And all you're basically doing is matching 6 out of the 49 possible numbers. I kind of wanted to figure out how I can compare it to Bitcoin. So on average, about 504 blocks are found per lottery draw. Every 2 weeks per lottery, or twice a week per lottery draw is about 504 blocks. If we throw the math into 504 divided by your chance per block, you're looking at about a 1 in just over a million percent, or 1 in a million chance every lottery draw to win. So twice a week, you have about a 1 in a million chance. And basically broken down, you're about 14 times more likely to hit a block with the BitAxe than to win the Lotto 649. So.
That's interesting.
I have a question.
Yes.
You said on the previous slide that you have a chance to receive the entire block reward.
Yes.
You sometimes have to split it, and do you have
No.
to watch for that reward?
So depending on how you're doing it, what I would recommend is using a solo pool called CK Solo Pool. They'll take about 2.5% for the fee if your miner does find the block. And it would basically just be waking up every morning, refreshing your Bitcoin wallet that you have that attached to. And if you see Bitcoin in there, you must have hit a block. If you don't, then unfortunately no block
So
yet.
you'll never really know when.
You just have to constantly check basically, or there'll be a lot of buzz on Twitter and then it's like, oh, I'm a solo miner, I'll go check my my wallet, see if it was me.
Yeah, I just wanted to know how to look at it.
Yeah, so if you were to do it pretty simply, I would just use CK Solar Pool. They'll take 2.5%, so you're losing about 6 million Satoshis. But if you wanted to just mine it to your own node, you would basically need to have a Bitcoin node. And that way, you could just get the block reward in full 100%, but then it requires an extra piece of hardware that you need to support that.
Thanks for explaining.
Yeah. So we're looking at about several million tickets that are sold every draw. I doubt there's even 1 million BitAxes running these days. During draws with larger jackpots, ticket sales can exceed about 10 million tickets per. We don't have concrete numbers on the amount of BitAxes sold, but yeah, if I would have to guess, it's way less than 1 million. But I also did want to talk about the historic event. So this was posted on BitAxe's LinkedIn page, where it reads, on July 24th, 2024, a BitAxe solo miner achieved the extraordinary feat of mining a Bitcoin block, specifically block number 853,742. This block contained 4,000 plus transactions and accumulated total fees of approximately 7 million Satoshis, equating to nearly 4,500 US. Combined with the block subsidy, the total block reward amounted to around 3.2 Bitcoin, or about 204.6 thousand US at current market values. This event was particularly significant as it demonstrated the feasibility of solo mining with the BitAxe miner, a device with a relatively low hash rate of about 500 gigahash per second. When I did this, they didn't even release the new BitAxe, so they now have a 1.2 terahash. This one found it with 500 gigahash per second. As a solo miner. So the probability of finding a block with that hash rate is pretty slim, like winning a lottery. However, the success story emphasizes that even small-scale individual miners can contribute to Bitcoin's network security and decentralization. So you can still contribute without having to fork over a couple $1,000s for those big industrial miners that you can't keep in your house because you'll just hear it, it'll output too much heat. This is a great way where you can still contribute to the Bitcoin network, and while you might not get daily Satoshis as rewards or daily Bitcoin, you might be one of the lucky ones if you treat it as a lottery. And at $15 a year, that's something that I feel is feasible. And if we can do it at scale, I have a little thought experiment here. At current difficulty levels, if about 3 million individuals run one of the latest BitAxes, one of those 3 million people, on average, will hit a block around once every 30 hours. So I basically just took 3 million multiplied by 1.2 terahash. That's what I got for that number here. I threw it into solochance.com. And on average, that hash rate is supposed to hit a block once every 30 hours. So again, as time goes on, industrial miners will continue to build up their mining capacity, and it will get a little bit longer or harder to hit a block. But as they come out with new miners, we also get the newest efficiency chips that will be released, and we can also still semi-compete with being able to solo mine Bitcoin if we can run this at scale. So I've heard about this thing about a month ago. It seems like, or sorry, a couple months ago, and it seems like the network effect has also taken hold on this. Like again, I'm not sponsored by these guys. They don't, have a place where you purchase directly from them to make money. It's all for the betterment of the Bitcoin network, the values of Bitcoin, and yeah, if you treat it like a lottery, there's your little incentive. You might not earn something, but you're helping secure Bitcoin. And if you wake up one morning, check your wallet, and you do see that you hit a block, that's a pretty significant amount of Bitcoin that you just mined. So final thoughts here. For a long period of time, Bitcoiners were priced out of owning their own hash power due to multi-$1,000 Bitcoin miners and high energy costs. If enough individuals participate in solo mining, we can prevent a fraction of newly mined Bitcoin going to large miners, further decentralizing the network. Mining to a pool with BitAxe is not recommended. I'm sure some of you have those questions as well. You'll earn about 50 Satoshis a day, and most pools have a minimum of 500,000 sat withdrawal threshold, so you're going to wait 10,000 days. And your earnings as well will decrease. So it's not recommended to mine to a pool with the BitAxe. I also believe that humans are gamblers by nature. Solo mining Bitcoin will get just as big as the traditional lottery given enough time. Again, there's about 3 million people that plays the Lotto 649. When times get, when the lottery goes up to 50 million, 60 million, you've seen 10 million tickets get sold. And and that's just a Canadian lottery. If we're talking globally, because this is a global network, then I fully believe that we could take at least some of those blocks away from the industrial miners. And yeah, that's pretty much. I also have some links here of what I also showed on the screen. So the solochance.com, if you wanted to take a picture, check it out yourself. These are all the links. The second one here is where you can purchase the BitAxe yourself if you want. They're a company based out of Quebec. I think 5% of the proceeds as well go to supporting Bitcoin mining initiatives. So again, I feel like they're doing great things. I feel like it's something that needs to be, shared. And while there's no direct benefit for even you to purchase one, I feel like if you treat it like a lottery, you might be one of the lucky ones to hit a block. So yeah, and the BitAxe GitHub page as well. They'll just, if you just wanted to make like a whole bunch, like 1,000 of them, you could do it so much cheaper than purchasing it from the product page. If you just look at the links that they share and show you where to buy the specific components, basically. Presentation. Thank you.